It was supposed to be just another long flight from New York to London. Single dad Luke Harrison, a mechanic from Detroit, clutched his battered backpack, staring at his first-class boarding pass like a golden ticket. It was a surprise upgrade, his first stroke of luck in years. Luke hadn't flown in ages, not since his wife passed 2 years ago. He was finally taking a short vacation after saving up for months, not just for rest, but to prove to himself he was still allowed to live, to breathe, to smile. He was just settling into the wide, luxurious first-class seat when he spotted them. Twin girls, no older than 7, standing by the aisle with worried eyes and clumsy, nearly toppling backpacks. Their nanny, flustered and juggling bags, was arguing softly with a flight attendant. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. The booking error left you with 1 seat in economy, and the girls can't sit alone back there." The nanny, clearly distressed, replied, "But I can't leave them alone in first class either. Their mother will fire me if anything goes wrong." The girls looked exhausted. One clutched a stuffed rabbit like a lifeline. The other rubbed her eyes, fighting back tears. Luke didn't hesitate. "I'll trade seats with them," he offered. Everyone looked at him. The nanny started to protest. "Sir, that's really not necessary." But Luke cut her off. "They need it more than I do." And just like that, Luke gave up the plush seat he'd barely warmed and walked back to economy without a second thought. The twins were quickly ushered into first class, and the nanny, now near tears of gratitude, mouthed a heartfelt, "Thank you." Luke didn't do it for recognition. He did it because that's what decent people do, because he'd once flown alone with his own son and knew how challenging it could be, and because to him, kindness was a currency far more valuable than comfort. Tusas. Flight was uneventful until it landed. As passengers disembarked, a poised woman in a tailored navy suit stood near the gate, arms crossed, eyes scanning. Her presence commanded attention. "Who's Luke Harrison?" she asked. Luke blinked, caught off guard. He stepped forward cautiously. "That's me." She extended her hand with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes until she truly saw him. Then something shifted. "I'm Amelia Grant," she introduced herself, CEO of Sky Harbor Airlines, and mother to those 2 little girls. Luke froze. "Look, ma'am, Amelia interrupted. "You gave up your first-class seat for my daughters. You didn't know who they were, and you still chose kindness." He shrugged, suddenly self-conscious. It just felt like the right thing to do. She studied him a moment longer, then pulled out her phone, tapped a few times, and handed him a card. "You're flying first class for life, any airline under my company. It's yours. If you ever need help, you call this number. That's my personal assistant." Luke stammered. "I can't accept that." Amelia replied, "You already did, when you taught my daughters and me something important. Not everyone would give up luxury for strangers, but you did." Luke stood speechless as Amelia turned to leave, her daughters waving from behind her with sleepy smiles. In that quiet, humbling moment, Luke didn't feel like just a tired mechanic anymore. He felt seen. He felt like the world still had room for people like him. Later, as he finally settled into his hotel room, his phone buzzed with an email confirmation. "Your next flight has been upgraded, first class forever." But more than that, he carried something even better. A reminder that small acts of compassion could echo far beyond what we imagine.